And if not because of our soft mind, we brought an idea of shifting the power from the northern Nigeria to the other part of Nigeria. Do you think there is any tribe they can rule Nigeria? Because we have the majority. So whenever...
Hello, what's up guys? In this video we are looking at a shocking war of words between two northern youths over the 2027 presidency, and the things they said are shaking political conversation everywhere. Now listen to this. The first northern youth came with a fiery video telling his own elders and politicians to forget about 2027. He said the north has ruled Nigeria the longest, yet the region is still drowning in poverty, unemployment and religious extremism. According to him, it is time to let Tinubu or any other southerner complete their turn in peace. But guys, before the dust could settle, another northern youth fired back, and his response was explosive. He mocked the first youth, calling him ignorant and accusing him of trying to mislead Nigerians. He admitted the north is suffering, but insisted that enemies inside and outside are working to destroy them, just like Palestine, so insiders can steal their resources. Then he dropped some heavy claims. He said politics is the language of the north, but civil service is the language of the southwest. While northern politicians may only spend 4 to 8 years in Asu Rock, he argued southerners dominate ministries for 30 to 35 years, speaking their own local language, blocking opportunities and promoting corruption. He even challenged between a north that rules for 8 years and a south that controls offices for decades, who has really dragged Nigeria down. And that's not all. He said if northerners want to continue with poverty, that's their problem, but nobody should think power can be taken from them by force. According to him, the north has the numbers, the population, and that is what decides who rules Nigeria. He reminded everyone that some of Nigeria's best leaders, like the late Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, were from the north, but southerners never allowed him to finish his good plans. He ended with a warning: anybody trying to paint the north as the worst people on earth will fail woefully. Guys, this is no longer just an argument between two young men. This is opening up deep cracks that could shape the 2027 race. The big question now is, will they not actually block Tinubu from completing 2 terms, or is this just political noise? Guys, I will let you watch this video for yourself so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Also, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. Take a look guys, and remember to share your thoughts after watching.
Well, I'm going to be brutally frank with this one. I know I'm going to let the dogs out, right? But it doesn't matter. The fact is, I've already been considered to be sponsored. I've been sponsored to divide the north. Well, let me do more justice to that. The fact is, for a way to have a fair and a progressive Nigeria, northern politicians will have to stay off power for at least 15 to 20 years. That is just the truth. Because let's face it, what has northern leadership brought to even the north itself? Nothing but abject poverty, insecurity, religious intolerance. And let's face it, the glamour for all this one north, true northerner, we are all northerners, I just feel is geared towards one thing. What is that thing? Grabbing back power from Emiloko. But the fact is, as it turns out to be, Emiloko seems to be very good at his game. Very good. Like 20 steps ahead. In short, this is one of the most interesting elections that I am looking up to seeing. Because for the very first time, the northerners have been conditioned into a situation that they don't know the way around it. Coalition is going on, you go front, you go come back or whatever. But I think that is actually what suits the northern politicians. They have to embrace the fact that it's not all about only them anymore, and only them, just the politicians, not the poor man. Because let's face it now, what has been their intervention so far in regards the insecurity that's ravaging the north? The fact is, the propagation of the blame game is the Westerners, it's Western influence that are against us, or whatever. They don't want the north to stand. That is what they keep feeding everybody. Well, you can't feed that to people like me. And I hope that if you're a very reasonable northerner, you should see sense in what I am saying. But if you are not, I already know your stand. But the fact is, you can't feed me that anymore. There are a lot of ills, there are a lot of negligence that have resulted to all these things. Look at what your leadership has brought so far. Insecurity, abject poverty, In some certain places, they trying to have an establishment of a religious belief while leaving people in poverty. That is what you have done. But the fact is, the only time I will see a true knot that is reflective of the desire of the common man is that knot that I'm hoping to see that will want to endorse a candidate that is not necessarily a northerner, but with the hope that he is going to deliver well to the betterment of the nation. Because let's face it, there is no excuse that the North will give in regards not living up to some of these challenges that is ravaging the North. And when you talk now, they say you are sponsored, FBI, KGB, waiting, they sponsor you. Well, you can now see that I'm really sponsored. Abi, I'm really sponsored. All I'm trying to say is the northern politicians will have to stay off power for at least 15 to 20 years. Let there be equitable distribution of this power. Well, the fact is, it's left to other regions to see sense in what I'm saying and know what to do about that. If you understand what I'm trying to say. That is just my take for now. So you can fire your shot and insult, Abi, as usual. Nothing but abject poverty, insecurity, religious intolerance.
Yeah, keep on executing your plan, but do it wisely. Let me just try to refresh your ignorance, because what you are doing, you can only convince a senseless people like you. We know that at this time, we are in a serious difficulties in the northern Nigeria. We have an enemies who are staying with us who claim to be northerners. And we have an external enemy who want to see the northern Nigeria destroy like the way they destroy Palestine, so that they will come in and keep on stealing our mineral resources. But for your own information, you guys, you're going to fail woefully. Let me refresh your ignorance. We are the language of politics. A language of politics in the sense that a politician, he can only spend 4 years in office, maximum of 8 years, if he locally won the second term. But those people that you are calling to remain in power, they are the language of civil service. Actually, I don't want to blame any tribe in the downfall of Nigeria, because that's not my problems. So the tribe you are supporting, they are spending 35 years in office, because they are the language of civil service. They have the biggest position in all the ministries we have in Nigeria. Go and do your research properly. Some ministries, when you go, they are speaking their local language. If you cannot speak their local language, they cannot even give you an offer to work in that office. So, what are they doing in all those offices, in all those years, 35 years in that offices, apart from promoting corruption? So between the tribe that they are spending 4 years and the tribe that they are spending 35 years in office promoting corruption, who do you think they contribute immensely in the downfall of Nigeria? And you still go ahead to say that the northern leaders, they have done nothing apart from bringing abject poverty to the north. Bro, we agree. We don't have problem on that. Let us continue suffering our abject poverty. But I don't think it's making sense for somebody who have an access, who has an ability to move around in Nigeria, because the law does not limit you to stay in a particular place. You are a Nigerian. You are entitled to move wherever you want to move. But you see the environment you are living, their leaders, they have done nothing apart from bringing abject poverty. And you keep on staying in that environment, bro. Are you okay? Do you have sense? Why can't you move or relocate to where their leaders brought a wealth, distribute wealth, brought development, so that you can learn their culture, you can learn their language, and stay with them so that you can enjoy the good leadership? And go and even check among the best president in Nigeria. 1 is from the northern part of Nigeria. 2 is from the northern part of Nigeria. 3 is from the northern part of Nigeria. I know you don't know much about Nigerian politics. You don't know much about Nigerian history. Let me just even giving you a previous history or a previous leader who performed a very wonderful job for Nigeria. Let Umar Musa Yar'Adua. He is a northerner and know any Nigerian that he can condemn that president because he has a very good plan for Nigeria. But the people that you are promoting to remain in power, they are the one that killed him. We know. And if not because of our soft mind, we brought an idea of shifting the power from the northern Nigeria to the other part of Nigeria. Do you think there is any tribe they can rule Nigeria? Because we have the majority. So whenever you want to bring your plan or you want to execute your plan, do it wisely, bro. Do it with justice. Don't keep on bringing an idea of making history to see us as the worst people in this planet. Because it's not going to win. You are going to fail. You will fail woefully. You are one of our internal enemy that you claim to be part of us. Because of our soft mind, we accept you. We accommodate you. But you keep on creating content about northern Nigeria so that the world can see the northern Nigeria with a very, very bad eyes. Bro, you are not going to win.
Northern Nigeria love lies. Kai, these guys, they love lies. And then don't too they comfortable with the lies to the extent they can't dislike the truth. They don't use the hear truth. When they see somebody, when they tell them truth, then go vent their dislike and their anger on that person. Instead of cross-checking whether waiting this person they talk now true. You see, this issue of loving lies is not an issue that is peculiar to northern Nigeria alone. The entire Nigeria, we Nigerians, we love lies. But you see northern Nigeria, it's top there, it's topping the list. You see, we are in a country that is busy lying to us politically. They lie to us religiously. They lie to us culturally. They lie to us socially. I think some of the lies when me I got to unlearn in my early life was, if you drink coconut water, you no go no book. If you eat egg, it will make you start to steal. All these little lies where they tell us. Now, when I started this series of exposing lies and truths, Northerners started saying all manners of lies. Oh, they control Nigeria. I told you, you don't control nothing. You don't own jack. You don't own nothing. Oh, they decide who become the president. For real? Not. You decide who becomes the president. How come the numerous times when Muhammadu Buhari run for presidency, how come only not Sophie deliver him? How come una wait until una get sense say make una form alliance with Western Nigeria before una fit deliver am? How come Atiku don dey pursue? How come una never fit deliver Atiku? Kwankwaso don dey pursue. How come una never fit deliver Kwankwaso? We make the majority voting strength. Who tell you? You see, even when you know say the vote una dey produce from north na lie, you still choose to believe that lie. If una truly get the voting strength of Nigeria, once election don dey come, una for no dey run, dey go Niger. They go, they bring una like minds, una Fulani brothers and all of una. May they enter the country. May they come make up una numbers. If una actually get voting strength, I'm talking to northerners now. Una for not infiltrate our INEC to the point that only one northerner they get up to 2-3 voters card. If una actually get voting strength, una not going to allow minors, little children, queue up, mamas and everything. They count all of them as voters. We know all of these things. Video evidences are all over the place. And in all of this, you still choose to believe, say not. They produce majority voters. And some of these lies, they don't eat into southern Nigeria to the point that a lot of southerners, they believe these lies. Because when a lie has been perpetuated for so long, it tends to assume the position of truth. But it's not true. And because of these numerous lies where they fly all over the place, that is the reason I choose not to believe the population head count when our national population census, that commission, they announce all over the place. Lies all over the place. A country that have lied to us politically, religiously, culturally, and otherwise, virtually everything will be told lies. This is I don't believe them because these northerners, they know the implication, the serious implication that they will face if they announce their exact population figures. They know the implication, so they will infiltrate every institution to make sure that they inflate their numbers. Do you understand it? Now let's face reality that is facing us. If you've been to the north, you realize that in their villages and cities, southerners make a huge percent of their population, right? When I mean, like, take for instance now, how many Igbos they Kano State? Their most populous city. How many Yorubas they Kano State? Now, turn the mathematics or turn the table around. How many Northerners they for Port Harcourt? How many Northerners they Lagos? How many Northerners they Oka? How many Northerners they Asaba? How many Northerners they Akwa Ibom? And that is Uyo. Now, go to the villages. Now, you now realize that even in their northern communities, we still make a reasonable amount of the numbers. They come to the south, you don't find them anywhere. Now, talk about Nigerians who are in diaspora. Nigerians that are in China, Nigerians in UK, Nigerians in Italy, Nigerians. So you want to you can't even quantify it. Do you understand? Now, let's talk about the languages. We have 3 major languages in the country, right? 3 major languages with huge population. Only one is concentrated in the north. 2 are in the south. Now, if you check top 20, you will discover that southern languages top the list far better than northern languages. How come all of these things are indicating that south is leading, but once it comes to population head count, automatically, miraculously, north will top the list? How come? These are some of the things that we should be asking ourselves. These are some of the parameters and rubrics we should use to judge some of these things, not those fraudulent things that your National Population Commission, whatever they are called, are busy releasing all over the place, hyping and overbloating, inflating figures unnecessarily. The reason we should use things that we are seeing every day, things that are informing us every day to judge these figures is because Nigeria as a country, the institutions in Nigeria have been lying to us from time immemorial, day in, day out. Politicians lie, clergymen lie, traditional rulers lie, even our parents lie. Liars all over the place.
This coalition is dead on arrival.
And what is the way forward?
Now, you see, the way forward. But before I arrive at the way forward, let me paint a clear scenario that is going to happen. The people from the south, Amici, Peter Obi, and the rest of them, are going to be used by the northerners to snatch power from the south for another 8 years. And at that time, their arithmetic would have come to fruition. The northerners are not looking at since 1960 when Nigeria became independent, and the number of years both military and civilian administrations are spent. When you look at that, the northerners are spent close to 47 years out of about 60 years. 65. So what is left for the south is just infinitesimal. Right from Gowon, apart from Aguiyi Rossi, who is from the south, up to Gowon to Muritala to Buhari. Obasanjo came in by Providence, the same way Jonathan came in by Providence. After Obasanjo, Shagari came in. From Shagari, we had Obasanjo again. Okay. So now, look at the number of years. But what they are saying in the north, let me analyze this. It's not for us in the studio, for Nigerians to understand the mindset of those people that are coming together. They are just like foxes, and they are trying to outwit themselves. And when you have people like that have mutual distrust in working for them in their midst, what they are heading to perdition. Now, the northerner is not talking about 1960. They are talking about 1999 today. And they are telling you that the northerners have only served 10 out of 26 years as it stands today. And by 2027, it will be 28. So, which means the southerners have utilized 18 years and they only have 10. So, surreptitiously, they are using these people to corner power again. All right, now so that they can level up.
I will stay with you on this, really. And I want to ask, based on the statements accredited to former Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, saying that INEC and the APC are working hand in hand to hijack the next election. Looking at that conversation, do you think voters' confidence going into the next election would have any strength in the next election?
You see, it is better for us to properly situate issues, especially on a national television like this, rather than rely so much on speculation. Myself and my partner here, we have already agreed that these people are aggrieved. And an aggrieved person can lie anytime. So why are you holding on to Amechi's lies?
Now, one of the reasons why I brought up that part of Amechi's conversation as concerning INEC
is on the part of Has he not been a past beneficiary of that? Why did he not protest against it? Fantastic. I was benefiting from it.
Now, Mr. Fadimo, I'm particular about voters' confidence.
We are too lazy and docile for us to wrestle power from these people. regardless of ADC, SDP, APC, Labour Party, and all the rest, everybody in all the political capital, parties, they are scavengers, scavenging for themselves, and it's a survivor of the fittest game. Whoever is able to grab power becomes the dominant factor until when that power is wrestled away from him. And that is the lot of Nigerians. So we'll continue to groan and groan and groan because this thing we are talking about, okay, election didn't count. Some people won in places that ordinarily they wouldn't have won in that election. Right. And some people lost in places that in fact it was a stronghold. So how much of what we are saying is we are complicit in what is happening to us as far as politics is concerned in Nigeria. You and I, we know, I have covered elections since 1993. Okay. And I know how people compromise during election day when they see 5,000, 10,000. Okay. Because of so when you have people like that, how much of convincing do you want to give that you extract commitment that they will not collect money?
That was why we've actually established all those things that we call the faults that we're finding. We've actually established every other thing we have as our own vice and our own loopholes, and we're asking, how then are we going to fix Nigeria? Only if you're saying that you're comfortable with Nigeria is at this point in time, and then you don't think that we need to work on anything.
The value system. Ghana has led us in their last election.
How do we change the value system?
Of rice to some communities. And they rejected and chased them away. Let's begin to have that here. Then the politicians will now know that they will be returned to office based on what they have done, not how much money they have amassed to bribe the electorate.